Lily Bishop and Adam Carter were the picture-perfect couple. They were the ones everyone envied, the golden pair of Northbridge High School. Adam, the star quarterback, had a smile that could make the entire room go silent, and Lily, the kind of girl who lit up a room with her laughter, was crowned prom queen the moment she stepped onto campus. Together, they were unstoppable, each other's shadows, their names whispered with reverence in the hallways. Their love was the kind of story people dreamed of, and they were the couple everyone looked up to. He was the king of the football field. She was the queen of every social circle, but their relationship held a dark secret, so powerful it was a matter of life and death. It had started on one of those endless summer nights, back when they were just friends. Adam had been different from the others. His charm wasn't something that could be bought with popularity, and his intensity made Lily feel like she was the only one in the world that mattered. That night, he had taken her to the old, abandoned house on the outskirts of town, a place where no one dared to go. It was a place of whispers, of rumors, and of old stories that the town had long since forgotten. But Adam didn't fear the dark, and neither did she. They entered the house hand in hand, a feeling of exhilaration coursing through their veins. They wandered through the decaying halls, exploring the remnants of a time long past, when they stumbled across something different. In the basement, behind a hidden door, they found a room. It was locked, but Adam had the key. When he opened the door, Lily's breath caught in her throat. Inside was a circle of symbols painted on the floor, and in the center, a book. It was old, bound in leather, the pages cracked with age. But it wasn't just any book. It had power. Adam had said nothing at first. He simply handed it to her, his fingers brushing against hers, his eyes intense, almost pleading. "You can't tell anyone about this," he whispered. "If you love me, you'll keep this secret. It's part of us now." At that moment, Lily hadn't understood. She didn't know what she was agreeing to, what she was accepting. All she knew was that Adam was her world. And so they did. They kept the book hidden, buried in the deepest corner of her closet. Adam's success on the field seemed to surge, and Lily's beauty and popularity seemed limitless. They became the couple that everyone wanted to be, their names linked in every conversation. But behind the perfect smiles, behind the perfect prom photos, something far darker festered. The more time passed, the more Adam changed. His intensity, once so magnetic, now felt consuming. The passion in his eyes was no longer love. It was hunger. At night, he would wake her from sleep, his hands trembling with something she couldn't name. And though he never spoke of it directly, she knew it was the book, the power it gave him, the price of that power. One night, before graduation, Lily was woken by a sharp knock on her window. She opened her eyes. Adam was standing there, his face pallid, his eyes wide and desperate. "Lily, they're coming for me," he whispered, his voice strained. "We can't run anymore. It's happening tonight. We need to finish this." She didn't understand. The words didn't make sense, but her heart clenched with fear. She followed him to the old house, the one they hadn't visited in so long. They went back to the basement, and Adam led her to the hidden room again. Only this time it wasn't just the two of them. The room was filled with people, faces she recognized from the school, their eyes vacant, their bodies stiff. But what terrified her most was the sight of the book, opened on the floor. "What is this, Adam?" she asked, her voice barely above a whisper. Adam turned to her, his face etched with anguish. "This is the price of what we've done, Lily. This is the truth." His words were like ice to the bones. "Do you remember the first time we found this room? The first time we touched the book? That moment, when we bound ourselves to it?" he continued, his voice barely audible. "It's not just a book, Lily. It's a curse. We made a deal with something ancient, something that demands sacrifice. I thought I could control it. I thought I could protect you, but I was wrong. They've come for us. They're here to claim what we've promised." Lily's mind reeled, unable to comprehend what he was saying. But it wasn't just their eyes. There was something about them that felt wrong. "They're—" Lily started, her voice cracking. "They're dead?" Adam nodded slowly, his eyes locked with hers, and for the first time in months there was no warmth, only an insatiable hunger. "They were never meant to live," he said softly. "None of us are. This is what we are now, what we've always been. And you'll join me." He stepped closer to her, his hands trembling as he took her face in his hands. His touch was cold now. His lips hovered near hers, but there was no kiss in his eyes, only an abyss. The walls began to bleed, the floor cracking open, revealing a gaping void beneath them. The people in the room, those once alive, began to move, but it wasn't of their own accord. They shuffled toward her, their mouths opening in unison, a low, guttural chant filling the air. "Take her. She is the final sacrifice." Lily's heart raced, panic rising within her chest. The truth was now undeniable. She wasn't the girl she thought she was. She wasn't Adam's love, his perfect girl. She was his final sacrifice. Adam hadn't loved her. He had never loved her. She had been nothing more than a vessel for his power, a power that had been extracted bit by bit over the years, a price paid with each kiss, each touch. The moment they had first touched the book, it hadn't been a love story, a curse, a slow, inevitable descent into darkness. Adam had used her to build his power, and now she was the one who would pay. With a scream, she fought to break free. But it was too late. The walls of the room closed in, the chanting louder now, and she realized, in the most horrifying moment of clarity, that the person she had loved was never real. The people in the room began to pull at her, their hands like iron shackles. They dragged her toward the center, toward the book. And as she was consumed by the darkness, she understood one final horrible truth. This had never been a love story. She had always been the sacrifice, and Adam, he had been the devil all along. The room's darkness swallowed her, and the last thing she saw was Adam's cold, unfeeling eyes. The truth was a bitter pill, but it was the only thing she had left. In the end, Lily realized that love, true love, had never been part of their story. Only darkness, deceit, and sacrifice.